We're not even close. That's not even close. Guys, are you ready for Eric Neumann? Let's go.
I'm Jewish. Understood. I've been doing comedy for a while. As a Jew, I'll tell you how I know I chose the wrong career. All right, I'll tell you how I know. I've been out of college for years already, and my best financial year is still my bar mitzvah year. You shouldn't peak financially at 13. That's not a good look. I've been trying to be more financially responsible. That's one of my goals. Like every morning I wake up and I transfer $20 from my checking account to my savings account. And then every afternoon I transfer $50 from my savings account back into my checking account. Because I gotta live, savings are ridiculous. Sometimes I'll write a check to someone and then get pissed at them for taking too long to cash it. Like I wrote my friend a $300 check for his wedding this summer. 3 months later he tried to cash it and it bounced. And he called me up all pissed off. He's like, Eric, where's the money? But I was pissed off. I'm like, how long do you expect me to keep $300 in my account? You know, some people have that rule, they'll like give you a check and they'll be like, wait 3 days to cash this. I'm the opposite, I'm like, you've got 3 days. Then the money goes away forever. And being financially irresponsible does not only affect me. Like one day I'm gonna have to tell my kids, look, I'm really sorry I couldn't put you through college, but daddy wanted to take Ubers everywhere, so now you have to suffer. Everything's expensive, man. Gym's expensive. Here's my gym routine. You guys are welcome to use it. I do 10 reps, 10-minute break, 10 more reps, 6-month break. You guys, it's yours. I won't be selfish. It's yours. I was at the gym the other day, this huge guy came up to me, huge guy, he's like, yo man, will you spot me? I'm like, yeah, but you better not drop it. That's 250 pounds, I'm relying heavily on you, actually. He's like, come on man, just spot me. So I went up to another guy, I was like, hey man, will you spot me while I spot him? Make it like a group thing. He's like, why don't you spot me? I'm like, that's heavy weight. Like, I'll spot you on abs. You want to do sit-ups, I'll step on your feet, no problem. Got your back on sit-ups. Gym was actually my best subject in school. I was a terrible student. I realized that the other night, I was at a bar, I was talking to this guy who started bragging for no reason. He's like, I know everything there is to know about history. I'm like, no, you don't. He was like, ask me anything. Then I realized I didn't know anything about history because I couldn't even come up with a question for him. I was like, just start from the beginning. Adam and Eve, day 1, let's do this. My mom knows I was a terrible student. She always goes, you know, your brother is book smart, but you're street smart. Which really just means people like you even though you're an idiot, right? It's not a compliment. My mom's very overprotective. She's like a super overprotective mom. She'll text me when I'm out at night. She'll be like, call me as soon as you leave the bar. I'm worried someone's gonna follow you home. I'm like, Mom, the whole point of me going out was to get someone to follow me home. She'll call me in the middle of the night to make sure I got home okay, but if I don't answer the phone because I'm busy, she'll call one of my best friends looking for me. Like, I'm 30, that's fucking unacceptable. So finally I sat her down, I'm like, Mom, you have to stop calling my friends at 4 a.m. You're gonna give them the wrong impression. Right, because my friends are wasted at 4 a.m. I don't trust them talking to my mom on the phone at all. This is how I see the scenario playing out in my head, all right? My mom calls my best friend Joe at 4 a.m. She's like, hey, Joe, is Eric with you? Joe's like, no, I'm all alone. You wanna come over? It's my worst nightmare, sir. Literally, my worst nightmare. I just found out my mom and I have the same therapist, which is, it's weird. It's weird, but it's cool because like he's sworn to confidentiality. Like he can't even legally admit that he knows who my mom is. So sometimes I like to test him to see how professional he is. The other day I was like, oh, my mom's so overbearing, man, I can't take it. She's in therapy to get help, but says her therapist is an unhelpful moron. Can't even believe he has a degree, really. He's like, oh, that's weird because I have a patient whose son is a real asshole. I'm like, all right, touche, sir. Me and my friends, we still make fun of each other's moms the same way we did when we were 15. We have not matured at all. So for my 30th birthday, my buddy wrote me a birthday card, and he wrote, happy birthday, Eric, I want to bang Paula Neumann. That's my mom. And I accidentally left the card on my nightstand, and my mom came over and she saw it. And for a minute, she was really pissed, and then she goes, see, I still got it. Which sucked, but it was actually the best way to get back at my friend, because I was like, hey, dude, my mom got your note. She's very interested. Lock this up, brother. You got this. I'm a good friend. My mom's very against drug use. She's always like, no matter what you do, do not do drugs. Do not do drugs. But she doesn't realize she should want me to do drugs. Because drugs make me paranoid. I would call her way more often. In fact, if she was talking me down from a high, that'd be the only time in my life I'd be like, Mom, stay on the phone with me longer. Keep asking me questions about when I'm getting married. Just do not hang up the phone. I also realize when I'm high, it's the only time I'm as paranoid as my mom is all the time. We finally connect. I'm like, oh my God, Mom's so paranoid. She's like, me too, every second of the day, right? I'm like, no, I'm just worried I'm not gonna make a lot of money in my career. She's like, I was just talking to my friends about how you're not gonna make a lot of money in your career. It's fantastic. I smoke a lot of weed. I do that. Okay. That was the lamest reaction to I smoke a lot of weed that I've ever heard in my decade of doing comedy. So congratulations, audience. You're not living your lives correctly. Me and my friends, we do a lot of silly things when we get high. Like last week, we got really high. We were starving. Went to a restaurant. There was a 45-minute wait list. So we gave the hostess a fake name, Delante. We thought it was hilarious. We were high, right? Then 45 minutes later, they called Delante, but we forgot that was the name that we gave. So the hostess running around like, Delante, party of 4! Last call for Delante! So I turned to my friends. I was like, guys, we're 4 people. Let's just say we're Delante. Then the whole meal were like, shit, I hope the real Delante doesn't show up. Sounds like a really tough guy. I didn't smoke pot for a really long time, but I had a friend who used to peer pressure me about it, which is weird as an adult to get peer pressured about weed. He was like, oh, smoke some pot, man, come on. I was like, no, I don't smoke. You know I don't smoke. He's like, I'm gonna get you to smoke one day. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm never smoking. He's like, yeah, well, one day, I'm gonna bake you weed brownies. And you're not gonna know they're weed brownies. And you're gonna eat them. I'm like, I'll know they're weed brownies. He's like, how will you know? I'm like, because you've never baked me brownies. Be a little suspicious. Guys, let's give the pot smokers 10 seconds to catch up with the rest of you. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a 24-hour cookie delivery place in the city called Insomnia Cookies. Hey guys, see? Did I get it right? What, did you? There was like 5 single woos from this side, and everybody here was quiet. You are my favorite people officially. Insomnia Cookies, 24-hour cookie delivery place. I was at my buddy's apartment last week. It was 4 a.m. We were stoned out of our minds. Decided to order cookies over the phone. I checked my phone the next day. We were on the phone ordering cookies for 27 minutes. I guess we started to order, got distracted, continued to order, got more distracted. I feel like it's only potheads calling a cookie place at 4 a.m. anyway, right? So the only qualification you need to work there is just like a lot of patience. If I was a hiring manager at Insomnia Cookies looking through resumes, I would want to see things like worked with special needs kids. Because that's the level of patience required. I don't know why we spend so much time on the phone with this woman carefully placing the order. It's not like we were going to be upset if they brought us the wrong thing. It's 4 a.m., we're stoned, we're not that picky. Because we ordered 6 chocolate chip cookies and 6 peanut butter cookies. But if they accidentally showed up with McDonald's, all right, I guess we order McDonald's. I don't know. I wanted cookies, now I'm kind of in the mood for a Big Mac, I gotta be honest. I love McDonald's. This set is sponsored by McDonald's. I love McDonald's. I have a very simple palate. Like whenever I'm at a restaurant, I like the kids menu more than the adult menu. But they don't let you order off the kids menu as an adult. They have that stupid rule. So I bypass it. This is what I do. I go to the waiter. I'm like, hi, I'll have a chicken marsala, no marsala sauce. And can you actually deep fry it and cut it up into little dinosaur-shaped pieces? And if the chef struggles with dinosaur stars, are fine also. Not picky. If that doesn't work, I go to plan B. I'm like, hi, I'll have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The waiter's like, I'm sorry, sir, you can only order that if you have your child with you. I'm like, I'm actually infertile. This is for the kid I couldn't have. Please be respectful. I'm not 100% sure I want to have kids. Here's why. Because the evolutionary order does not make sense. Parenting shouldn't happen in the beginning. Grandparenting should. They know what they're doing. If I have a kid, it should go directly to my mom. And then I should have to like shadow her for a little while and ease into raising it like an apprenticeship. Makes way more sense. Plus, I know it'd be way less traumatic if I accidentally got my girlfriend pregnant. She'd be like, Eric, I'm not ready for a kid. I'm like, don't worry, my mom is. So... it's out of your hands. Plus, my mom would be so focused on my kid, she'd get off my back for a change. That would be nice. You know, I travel back and forth between LA and New York a lot. I told my mom, like, you know, there's a good chance I may have to move to LA at some point. What would you do? She's like, oh, I'm going with you. I'm like, you don't have to. I'm sure we could make long distance work. No mom and son have ever broken up from long distance. What does she think? I'm gonna move to LA, find another overbearing Jewish mom and start ghosting her all of a sudden? I don't know what she's afraid of. But I get it, she wants to be close to me, I get it. You know, this is a true story. My junior high school, and college were all within 20 blocks of my apartment growing up. I feel like my childhood was like the movie The Truman Show. I'm like, Mom, what's past 96th Street? She's like, nothing, don't go there, you'll drown. You'll freaking drown. By the way, I could never move to LA because I'm 30 years old, never driven a car before. I've never even taken driving lessons. At this point in my life, it's less embarrassing for me to have lost my license because of a DUI than to have never gotten my license. Right? Because people always ask me, they're like, Eric, you really don't know how to drive? I'm like, of course I do. I'm just an alcoholic. I'm not a loser. I know how to drive. but I don't drive. And for a long time, I didn't drink. It sucks when you don't drink and don't have a license. Nobody wants you at their parties. Nobody gets excited. Nobody's like, yo, Eric's coming tonight. You know the guy who won't drink with us and can't drive any of us home? The dude who's freaking useless? He's coming. People always ask me, they're like, oh, you don't have a license because you grew up in New York, right? I'm like, no, I don't have a license because my mom doesn't want me to drive. That's why. She says I'm too distracted to be on the road. But she doesn't want me in anybody else's car because she doesn't know how well they drive. And she doesn't want me to take an Uber home because she doesn't want the Uber driver to have my home address. And she doesn't want me to ride a bike because she thinks the bike's gonna flip over, I'm gonna get hit by a car. But if I do ride a bike, I have to wear a helmet, but I can't make it too tight because the strap under my chin will choke me. It's very... I'm like, Mom, how am I supposed to get around? Just like run everywhere? She's like, no, that'll hurt your asthma. Don't do that either. Just stay in bed with the door locked and the window open and the oven off. By the way, I've been taking asthma medicine for 10 years. No idea if I have asthma. But every morning my mom wakes up and she's like, did you take an inhaler? So I just keep taking it on her prescription alone. A lot of people don't understand what I go through. Like my non-Jewish friends are always like, oh, your mom sounds like a typical overprotective Jewish mom. And then my Jewish friends are like, we've never seen a mom like this before. This is extremely rare. Here's what happened a couple months ago. I had my buddy's bachelor party at his house in Florida. A couple days before I left, my mom saw on CNN that a family in Florida died because of carbon monoxide poisoning. So she drives me to the airport, because she always drives me to the airport. We're still in that romantic phase of our mom-son relationship. She drives me to the airport, she picks me up with flowers, it's all very romantic. Right before I get out of the car, she goes, I got you a gift for the trip. And she hands me a shiny new carbon monoxide detector. That was my bachelor party contribution. Everybody else was like, yo, I got the weed, I got the alcohol. I'm like, nobody buy a carbon monoxide detector. Because I'm bringing one. I'm providing the safety on this trip. You don't know how much shit I got from everybody on that bachelor party. I was getting roasted worse than The Bachelor. But you know what? In the end, my mom was right, because thanks to her, I didn't lose any friends to carbon monoxide poisoning. Instead, I lost all my friends for bringing a carbon monoxide detector. I make fun of my mom a lot, but she's got a lot of great qualities. She's a very loyal woman. She's had the same cleaning lady for 40 years. Her name's Jean. She's 85 years old. Jean's so old that my mom tells me to clean up my apartment before Jean gets there to help her out. It's like, Eric, pick up this clothing off the floor. Jean's got a bad back. She can't bend over. And scrub these counters. She's got arthritis in her hands. The whole thing made me realize how bad my parents' marriage was. My mom kept her 85-year-old cleaning lady with arthritis, but kicked my dad out. You guys got really sad all of a sudden. Bring the room down. When they got divorced, me and my mom, my brother, we moved into a 2-bedroom, and my mom told my brother and I that we could choose which bedroom we wanted. And one of them had a French door, which is like the clear glass. And I chose that one because I thought it was classy. I'm like, French door, classy. You know what's not classy? Hanging a bedsheet every time you want to masturbate. That's not classy. I should have just jerked off in front of everybody in the living room, right? Because it's not like I was fooling anybody. Nobody saw the bedsheet hanging and was like, oh, he's catching up on his algebra. What a good boy. What a scholar we've raised. But I just moved out of my mom's apartment. I did it. I'm independent. I did it. Did it. So I do my own laundry. That's a big thing in my life. Oh, laundry, it's so annoying. You have to like wash it and dry it and wait a couple months and fold it. It's just, it's the worst. Every week I bring my bed sheets to the laundromat because I like clean sheets. I think it's an important thing to have clean sheets. And every week they get mixed up with other people's clothing. Every week. Guys, can I tell you, there is literally nothing scarier than waking up after a night of being blacked out drunk and finding a child's sock in your bed. You're like, please tell me that was a dwarf. This would be the worst thing ever. Aren't they on a 10-second delay for real, though? I'm like honestly rooting for weed because if not, they're dumb as fuck, right? I mean, You guys are fantastic. I had a weird upbringing. My dad was schizophrenic. Anybody else have a schizophrenic dad? Some guy who's really proud of it, I guess. It was confusing growing up with a dad with schizophrenia, especially growing up as a Jew. You know, because my mom was always like, Jesus doesn't exist. And then my dad would pull me to the side and be like, hey, listen, I'm Jesus. She's a wacko, that woman. She's crazy. I went to Israel for the first time this summer. Anybody been to Israel? Shabbat. There's not too many of you. All right. Beautiful country. Israel's beautiful. I signed up for a bus tour from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. 20 people on the tour. We get to Jerusalem, get off the bus, and the tour guide goes, okay, this is our first sight. This is where Jesus had his Last Supper. And I was like, what the hell? And the tour guide saw that I was confused, so he came up to me. He's like, hey, you Jewish? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing on a Christian tour? I'm like, I didn't know it was a Christian tour. I'm like, you have an Israeli accent. Are you Jewish? He's like, yes. I'm like, why are you a guide on a Christian tour? He's like, I go wherever the money is. I'm like, oh, you really are Jewish. But then it was weird because for the rest of the day, he kept trying to make the tour more Jewish for me. And all the other Christian people were getting pissed off. So right before we get back on the bus, at the end of the day, he goes, okay, everybody, this is our last sight of the day. This is where Jesus turned water into wine. Supposedly. And then he winked at me. I'm like, all right, that is super weird. And now 20 Christians hate me. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you're Jewish between the ages of 18 and 26 years old, they send you on a free trip to Israel called Birthright. You guys, same 4 Jews? All right. And I never went on that trip, and I was talking to this girl about it the other day. She's like, you never went on Birthright? Going on that trip is the most Jewish thing ever. I'm like, no, not going because your mom says it's too dangerous and won't let you go is the most Jewish thing ever. I'm more Jewish than you. One of my favorite holidays is coming up next week, Passover. Same 4. Am I lying? I love Passover. Here's a holiday that I really don't like that just passed, St. Patty's Day. Ugh. I'll tell you why I don't like it. Because you see all these people with like faces painted green and wearing green outfits who aren't even Irish. And it made me realize people only celebrate other people's holidays when there's food and heavy drinking involved. Right? Because I've never heard anybody say, look, it's Yom Kippur, and if the Jews aren't eating, I'm not eating either. Let's respect those Jews and starve ourselves. Jews, we have our own food, kosher food. It's kind of selfish. I feel like kosher food gets a bad rap. People say it doesn't taste as good as regular food, except in prison. Jewish prisoners are entitled to kosher meals and all the other prisoners want them. I just feel like it would be kind of ironic to get jumped by a guy with a swastika tattoo for a matzo ball soup. A lot of people are pretending to be Jewish in prison just to get the kosher meals. People are actually smuggling in Jewish paraphernalia. That's weird, right? Yo, man, did you hear what happened to Jose? He's doing 6 weeks in solitary. They found 9 dreidels in his ass. You guys don't know this yet, but that is the cleanest prison butt joke you will ever hear in your entire life. So appreciate it. Being a Jew has made me a very anxious person. Like, some people meet me, they think I'm arrogant. I'm an emotional wreck. I'm so anxious. Like, whenever I have sex with somebody for the first time, I take Viagra. Because I'm a nervous lover. I can't help it. I'm kind of a nervous lover. That got an applause last night. Sir, are you enjoying yourself at all? Okay. I'm a nervous lover. I can't help it. I'm kind of a nervous lover. So I've taken it a bunch of times. One time I got a little cocky, popped a pill, didn't end up having sex. Big mistake. You ever get turned down on Viagra? It's the worst. I'm like, hey, you want to come back to my place? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, you have 4 hours to decide. I feel like Viagra's in its own category as a drug, right? Like, it's not like weed. Because if you smoke weed and you find out somebody else smokes weed, it's a bonding moment. Yo, you smoke weed, I smoke weed, yeah. But I can't do the same thing with Viagra. Right? I can't meet some dude and be like, hey, man, you do Viagra too? We should do it together sometime. Be like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna get back to the party, actually. Nice to meet you, you freak. These are the things you have to deal with being Jewish. My girlfriend's not Jewish, but I've been trying to teach her a little bit of Hebrew, get her cultured. She's been practicing the ch sound, which is like a really hard sound to make, right? And I have to say, I'm proud of her. She's got it down pretty well. Because now whenever she visits my family for the holidays, she's always like, hey, happy Hanukkah. And then when they walk away, she's like, ugh, fucking Jews. So I'm really proud of her. You guys are fantastic. Cheers to you. And so much. Jews are very big on dating other Jews. Like when I first started dating my girlfriend, people asked me, they're like, was your mom upset when she found out you were dating a non-Jew? I'm like, no, my mom doesn't care at all. Just a bunch of strangers from synagogue do. My mom's totally open. She doesn't care who I date, as long as they answer her phone calls when she's looking for me. That's her one qualification. She doesn't want me to be with a Jewish woman who puts her straight to voicemail. She would way rather me be with a Muslim guy who texts her when we get places. And it's not even close. I finally fucking got you to clap, sir. Sir, why do you have a constant state of I want to kick your ass look on your face? Jews. My Orthodox friend recently got married and he didn't invite my girlfriend to his wedding because he said he doesn't approve of me dating a non-Jew. I'm like, why don't you say it's because you are Jewish and don't want to pay for an extra plate? But my girlfriend got upset. She was like, how would you feel if my friend didn't invite you to her wedding because you're Jewish? I'm like, honestly, I'd feel like anti-Semitism was finally working in my favor. I'm sorry, if I never have to dry clean another suit for some couple I don't give a shit about, they could put a swastika on the wedding cake for all I care. I don't care. Man, and we're gonna use the version of that joke from last night for sure. Where am I at? Oh yeah, fuck, this is good stuff. All right. I told my girlfriend it's a long set, guys. I apologize. I told my girlfriend I wanted her to convert. She's like, I don't want to convert. I'm like, all right, I'll make you a deal. If you convert, I'll start eating bacon. Which is a terrible deal for her, right? Because I'm basically saying, if you ruin your life for me, I promise I'll enjoy my life more for you. Judaism is very important to me. Here's how Jewish I am. On Halloween night, my costume was Hanukkah glasses. That's it. I went to a party, I ran into this guy who had a matching Hanukkah outfit, but no glasses. I had his one missing accessory. His name was Roy, we took a picture together. I was so angry at myself for being straight. Because what a waste of a perfectly romantic moment. We would have the best story for our grandkids. That's lightning in a bottle right there. I've never had that type of karmic sign that I should be with my girlfriend ever. I met Roy for 2 minutes. I went home. I resented my girlfriend the entire night. I'm like, yeah, you're okay, but you're no Roy. Let's be honest. And there's no way I'd actually be with Roy. Okay, there's one way I'd be with Roy. If I was telling this joke on stage one night and somebody popped up in the audience and he was like, I'm Roy, and it's actually him, I'm having sex with him that night. Because that's God's way of saying this is your soulmate. But I probably won't end up with Roy. Gotta be honest. So I at least want to save the story. This is a beautiful story. Like one night I was out with my girlfriend at dinner and the waiter asked us how we met. I was like, well, it was Halloween night. I had a pair of Hanukkah glasses. She had a matching Hanukkah outfit. She's like, that's not how we met. I'm like, don't ruin this for me. Or I'm leaving you for Roy, for real. I'm a straight man, but I have a very flirty personality. Like, don't you feel like you've been making weird eye contact the entire time, sir? Hitting on your man, I apologize. Sorry. I have a very flirty personality, especially with gay men. Because they bring out the best energy in me. I elevate my game for gay men. The other day I was at Starbucks with a couple of my buddies and I ran into this really flamboyant gay guy I've known for a few years. And we caught up for a little while and he's like, well, it was nice to see you, Jason. My name's Eric. And if a straight guy gets my name wrong, calls me Jason, everyone would be like, oh, I thought his name was Jason. No big deal, it happens. But because of my flirty personality, when a really flamboyant gay guy calls me Jason, my friends assume I'm living a double life as a gay guy named Jason. Like I'm banging chicks under Eric, I'm blowing dudes under Jason. It's my identity, which I'm equally proud of, by the way. I told that joke the other night. I was like, I'm a straight man, and I swear I heard somebody in the audience go, "Not true!" I'm like, did you just say "not true"? And some other guy goes, no, he was talking to the waiter. He said nachos. That's how insecure I am about my sexuality. Somebody yelled out nachos, and I'm like, why don't you believe me? My girlfriend heard me tell a joke one night. We're in bed together. She goes, tell me the truth. Are you gay? I'm like, well, I think about it sometimes. She's like, why can't you answer the question? I'm like, because I've been having sex with you for a while. You should know the answer. But she kept pushing. I'm like, no, I'm not gay, all right? They're jokes. I'm not gay. So we're about to fall asleep, and then she makes a move on me. Here's the thing. I was so aware of how important it was for her to have sex with me in that moment that I got too nervous and couldn't get hard. Bad timing, right? She's like, why won't you get hard? Why won't you get hard? I'm like, I don't know, but I swear to God it's not because you're a woman. She got more frustrated. She's like, should we try different positions? I'm like, yeah, try turning around. She's like, you'd like that, wouldn't you? I'm like, I'm leaving you for Roy. Roy and I are recently Facebook friends. That's cool. I just saw on Facebook that the girl I lost my virginity to recently got married. Which sucks, because now I'll never get a chance to prove to her I got better at sex. She'll always know me as that guy. No matter what, in 10 years, I could put up a photo of me, my wife, and my 3 kids. She'd be like, I bet you he was shivering and shaking while he was making those kids. But I'm proud to report I'm currently pretty good at sex. I'm pretty good. You're fantastic, sir, I can tell. Fantastic. Excellent. I'm pretty good at sex. But even if I wasn't, I'd still do it. Right? Sex is one of those things, no matter how bad you are, it won't stop anyone from still doing it. But like, nobody who can't play the violin is running around like I have to play every single violin I could get my hands on. See that violin over there? I play the shit out of it. No, if you can't learn the violin, you quit. If you can't learn sex, you keep disappointing people until you die. My girlfriend and I have cute nicknames for each other. Like, I call her Sweet Angel, and she calls me Useless. She says I'm useless because I can't fix anything or help out around the house. I'm like, really? Who's the one who unclogs the toilet every time I clog it? Not you. We were in Aruba one time, and I clogged the toilet at the hotel. It was the Marriott. It did not deserve that. Nothing gross, but like water flooded everywhere in the bathroom, and she ran in and turned off the water like the man in the relationship that she is. And I was like, could you call up the front desk and get somebody up here to clean up the mess? She's like, I'm not calling up the front desk. That's embarrassing. You did it. You call up the front desk. I'm like, fine, I'll call up the front desk. I'm like, hello? They're like, operator. I'm like, hi, my girlfriend just clogged the toilet. She was a little embarrassed to call you herself. She's trying to pin it on me. We had a great time in Aruba, but I feel like we hit that point in the relationship where every time we go on vacation, people expect me to propose. I'm like, oh, we're going to Aruba. They're like, you gonna propose? How are you gonna propose? It can't just be a normal vacation anymore. Because anything besides a proposal feels underwhelming. But like, I can't go back to her parents and be like, hey, we have a huge announcement. Your daughter and I are officially scuba certified. We've been waiting a long time. He took the plunge. I love going on vacation, but I only get to go like 4 months. Sorry, let's start that over. That's going to be fucked up on recording. I love going on vacation, but I only get to go for like 4 days max. That's why I'm jealous of my friend who's a teacher, because he gets every summer off. But he's always bragging about it. Here's the thing, he makes like no money. So why is he bragging? He called me up in June, he wanted to tell me about this Hamptons house that he was renting for the summer. He wanted to invite me out. He's like, yo, Eric, I got this amazing Hamptons house, man. Beautiful Hamptons house, huge house, 5 bedrooms, 27 other teachers. Oh, is it on the beach? He's like, it's like right on the beach. It's like 32 miles from the beach. It's a long walk in flip-flops. Which Hamptons? He's like, it's Northampton. I'm like, there is no Northampton. I was like, no, it's just north of the Hamptons, so we're calling it Northampton. Noha. Connecticut. It's Connecticut. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll come. He's like, no, you have to let us know by Saturday or else we're going to rent out your side of the mattress. Sounds claustrophobic. Might as well stay in my apartment for the weekend. My apartment's so claustrophobic. That's the thing about New York. I love New York, but, you know, it's so expensive. You get no space. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who told me this really sad story. He said that his dad used to beat him up when he was a kid. I'm like, oh my God, man, that's awful. He's like, yeah, man, it was terrible. I remember one night my dad came home so drunk and pushed me down the stairs in our apartment. And my only thought was, you have stairs in your apartment? You're so lucky I used to get slapped around in a 1-bedroom. I'd be more appreciative. I'd take a beating for a spiral staircase any day. For a duplex? Are you kidding me? I lived in New York my whole life. I'm a huge Knicks fan. Anybody familiar with that level of torture at all? Oh my God. It's painful, man. It is the worst. But I got my money's worth one game this season. I was at a game. While I was there, I noticed that Lisa Ann, the porn star, was sitting a couple of seats away from me. I can tell you know what I'm talking about, sir. Yeah, this like creepy look. She was with her boyfriend at the game. He had his arm around her, and I was so excited. I kept like looking over at her the whole time. I was like, oh my God, it's Lisa Ann. Like it brought back so many childhood memories. And at one point, her boyfriend caught me looking, and he came up to me. He's like, yo, man, for real? Stop checking out my girl. I'm like, all right, I guess I can wait till I get home. He's like, that's disrespectful. I'm like, me checking out with clothes on is the most respectful I've ever been to her. Like, don't be mad at me, be mad at everyone on slutload.com. That's a real site, by the way, sir, slutload.com. An old pro. My girlfriend knows I watch porn, by the way. It's cool. She's understanding. But the other night, she was on my computer, my email was open, and she noticed that I emailed myself specific porn links. She's like, I'm not even angry, I just need to know why. I'm like, I'm kind of sentimental, like even with porn. Because one time I was 16 years old, I found this porn video I was in love with, and I closed my computer, I didn't save it like an idiot. And then for years I couldn't find it. I'm like, shit, will I ever see it again? I don't know. And then 6 years later, I was 22 years old. I opened my computer, boom, popped up again. I swear to God, I almost broke down in tears. One of the most emotional moments of my entire life. So that's why I email myself porn links, just to be safe. You know, just to be safe. But sometimes it backfires. Like the other night, I emailed myself a porn link, and then a few minutes later, I noticed I didn't have any new emails. I was like, who the fuck did I just send that to? And this strange guy wrote back, he's like, dude, I've been looking for this for years. Thank you so much. Guys, we got about 7 minutes left in this thing. How we feeling? We good? We've all made a lot of mistakes with technology. Costly mistakes. I have. I've messed things up with women a million times. So I like when women make mistakes. That makes me feel good. Like one time I was texting this girl and she accidentally sent me a screenshot of our conversation. She fucked up. I guess she meant to send it to a friend for advice or something, but I let it go because I didn't want to embarrass her. But then 2 seconds later she texted me, oh my God, I just sent Eric the screenshot I meant to send you. I'm like, should we just start a group chat at this point? Guys, I don't want to brag, but I've sexted with a lot of women. I've also forced it at the worst moments. Weirdest noise I've ever heard come out of a person's mouth at a comedy show or outside a comedy show. I've definitely forced sexting at the worst moments. One time I texted this girl, I was like, hey, what are you up to? She's like, I just got back from the hospital visiting my grandfather. He's very sick. I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry. She's like, yeah, it's been really hard. I'm like, you know what else has been really hard? Winky face. By the way, the first time you sext in a relationship, that's a big deal. That's a huge milestone. Because I remember the first time my girlfriend and I sexted, we hadn't slept together yet. And it got to that point of the sexting where it was like really hot, where I like dirty talking for a while. She's like, I bet you have a really big dick. I'm like, what's up with the pressure? Like, that doesn't make me confident at all. Like, just for once, I wish I was sexting with a girl and she was like, I bet you have a dick. I'd be like, you're damn right, I have a dick. It's there. Attached and everything. Sometimes I feel like we've lost some of the sexual excitement in the relationship because recently I've been mixing up my girlfriend's nicknames with my brother's nicknames. It's like a really bad sign, right? And she caught on. Like a few weeks ago, she was like, I feel like you don't love me romantically anymore. And I was like, that's not true at all, little buddy. Then I punched her in the arm. She's a pal, we're friends. She's so smart though, like I had a stiff neck for a few days. She's like, I bet you got it from checking out too many women on the street. I'm like, I actually didn't, but now that you mention it, it is a lot harder to do that now. Because usually if I'm walking down the street with my girlfriend, I get like sneak checking out all the women. I could be like, oh my God, she's so pretty, look at that. Oh my God, she's pretty too, look at that. But there's no way to do that with a stiff neck, it's impossible. I was walking down the street with my girlfriend, I had a stiff neck. This girl passed by who was irresistible. I was like, okay, guess we're fighting later. Guys, I figured out my favorite part about the internet. I figured out my favorite part. I love how when you type in a new password, it'll tell you how strong or weak the password is. And that's a really cool feature. I wish we could use that feature for everything in life. Like whenever I'm apologizing to my girlfriend for something. Baby, I'm really sorry I didn't call you back. I was busy. Weak. I was busy with my mom. Medium, that's a medium. I was busy with my mom picking out an engagement ring for you. Strong, that's fucking strong. This is what I realized, like, you women have the power of the entire relationship. Entire relationship. Right up until the moment you want us to propose. That's why we take so long to do it. We like having the power for 1 second. Because we know the second we propose, you get the power back. Right? I mean, we give you that ring and you might as well wear it on your middle finger, because the second you put it on, you're like, fuck you. I hate your friends, they're not coming to the wedding. I remember my girlfriend and I were dating for like 3 months. She called me up one morning. She was so excited. She was like, Eric, I had a dream about you last night. I'm like, how did it go? She's like, you and I were having the wildest, most amazing sex. And then later, I got pregnant. And we raised a baby together. She's like, what do you think? I'm like, I think you overslept a little. Set your alarm a little earlier next time. It's a perfectly good dream you ruined. Sometimes she'll get frustrated with me for really silly reasons. Tell me this is a silly reason to get annoyed. She got annoyed with me a few months ago because my list of top 3 favorite movies of all time hasn't changed in 15 years. It's kind of a silly reason, right? I'll tell you what they are right now. Number 1, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, best movie of all time. Will never change. Number 2, The Terminator, second best movie of all time. Will never change. Number 3, Titanic. I'm a little emotional. Titanic, number 3. It won't change. And my girlfriend got annoyed. She's like, so many new movies have come out since the 90s and you don't replace them. I'm like, yeah, you should appreciate that I'm a loyal guy. I mean, think about it. So many new women have come out since you. But the good news is I'll never leave you. I'll never let go. I'll never let go. And even if I do, I'll be back. So that's... That's my favorite joke I've ever written, I swear to God. Get to talk about Terminator. I think the thing I'm into the most right now is sex music playlists. I love sex music playlists. All right, if you're not adventurous enough, this is what you do. You make a list of songs, you play it while you're making love. It's a beautiful romantic thing. I love sex music playlists because they involve so much creativity. Like, you have to be creative about them. That's why I kind of wish there was after sex music playlists. Because those would be way different, right? Because sex music playlists are always like romantic songs, right? Like, I'll make love to you like you want me to. After sex music playlists would be like, clean up, everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody, do your share. So guys, that's the end of the set. I don't want to get too sentimental. I'm a very sentimental person, and I don't want to get too sentimental. I just want to seriously thank you guys for coming out, because you've been like unbelievably amazing. Except you at times. You've been fantastic. You guys have been fantastic. I started on this stage in 2008, February 2008. I started on the stage. I was a 20-year-old kid. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, and I've been on this stage probably more than anywhere I've ever been. Actually, the stage used to be over there. So you're sitting on the stage, assholes. The stage used to be over there, and they moved it. Jerry Seinfeld came here, and he did his Netflix special. He came back to the club after 40 years, and he did his Netflix special. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was unbelievable. Not as good as mine, but pretty good. And so the stage was over there, and Netflix came in, and they changed it all around. But I've been in this room for 10 years. I've had more mental breakdowns on the stage than anywhere else in my comedy career, and I've developed all this material that you heard, and it's probably about 55 minutes or something. Francis, how much time was it?
An hour.
An hour? It was an hour of material. And I had this opportunity. A label wanted to work with me, and they're a great label. And so I'm probably not going to do this material again because I'm so fucking sick of it. But you're probably going to hear it in your cars. I want to hear it in my mind because I don't drive, so thank God for that. But you might hear it in your car. It's going to be on Pandora and Spotify and Sirius XM and all this stuff. And that's it. Yep. And just one more time, just please give it up for my good friends and the guys who opened the show. Francis Ellis hosted. He's tremendous. Francis. And Mark Gerber, my dear friend Mark Gerber, and Emma Willman, who's fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. You've been fantastic. I'm Eric Neumann. Have a good night. Bye.